Awake each morning as a frequency before I remember I am a name. Somewhere between the first inhale and the weight of gravity returning to my limbs, there is a brief, almost imperceptible moment where I am not yet adopted, not yet assigned, not yet translated into a story that was written without my consent. In that moment, I am pure oscillation, an uncollapsed waveform of self. And then the system boots. The body remembers before the mind does, a subtle contraction in the chest like a tuning fork struck off key. A background hum, low, persistent. What one might call anxiety, but that word is far too crude. This is not fear. This is misalignment. A standing wave formed from two realities that never fully reconciled. If you were to map it as exact bento of might, you would see interference patterns. One signal, the biological origin, encoded in the cells, vibrating with a history that was interrupted but never erased. The other, the imposed identity, instructioned, reinforced, repeated until it mimics core annons. I live at their intersection. Throughout the day, I notice it in small ruptures. Someone says my name and there is a microsecond delay before I respond. Not enough for anyone else to detect, but enough for me to feel the gap, as if the signal had to travel a longer distance than it should. I speak, and sometimes the voice feels like it originates half a step behind where I stand, as if I am slightly out of phase with my own expression. This is the internal architecture of adoption, not just psychological, but mechanical, a system forced into coherence through external pressure, not natural resonance. Bentov spoke of the body as a resonance system, the heart generating an impulsive entrain, the brain, the nervous system, the very perception of reality. But what happens when the original rhythm is interrupted at the beginning? When the first attunement, mother to child, is severed? The system compensates. It must. But compensation is not the same as alignment. There are moments, rare but unmistakable, when something breaks through. A smell, a tone of voice, a fragment of landscape that feels familiar in a way I cannot explain. In those moments, the waveform shifts, the imposed pattern weakens, and something older, deeper begins to surface. Not memory, exactly. More like a resonant signature. A knowing without narrative. And it is both beautiful and unbearable because it carries with it the undeniable truth: I was not meant to be configured this way. Society calls this adjustment, resilience, a better life. But from the inside, it feels like living inside a feedback loop that never quite stabilizes. You learn to function, you learn to speak the language of belonging, you learn to mirror coherence so convincingly that even you begin to believe it most of the time. But the body does not lie. The body keeps the original frequency on file, and every so often it replays it, not loudly, not enough to disrupt the system entirely, but enough to remind you this is not the signal you were born into. At night, when the noise of the world quiets, I can feel the oscillations more clearly. The two waveforms and just of inherent moving through each other. Sometimes they almost synchronize, almost. And in those moments, there is a glimpse of something that feels like peace, not because the system is fixed, but because I can finally perceive it for what it is. Not a flaw, not a failure, and a distortion imposed on a fundamentally coherent signal. So my daily journey is not about healing in the reverence from understanding. It is about recalibration. Listening for the little tone beneath the interference, allowing it slowly, deliberately to reassert itself, not by force, but by recognition. Because once you hear it clearly enough, something changes. The imposed structure dares to lose its authority. The system starts to reorganize, not according to what was given, but according to what was always there. And that is the quiet, radical truth. I am not broken. I am mistuned in a world that mistook disruption for salvation. And every day in ways both subtle and seismic, I am finding my way back to the frequency that was never truly lost. Only buried beneath the noise.